is Bart Walsh. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I've been practicing psychotherapy for the past 37 years. I have a private practice, and I also direct the Milton Erickson Institute of Portland, which is affiliated with the Milton Erickson Foundation. The Institute offers training in hypnotherapy to qualified professionals. Well, hypnosis is just a way to communicate directly with the unconscious mind. And hypnosis utilizes trance. Trance is something that occurs for all of us quite naturally all the time. We often drift into a trance when we're listening to a boring lecture. We can drift into a trance as we're watching TV and not hear the person next to us talking. We drift in and out of trance all the time. Sometimes it just occurs for a second and sometimes longer, but it's a natural phenomenon. Hypnosis utilizes trance to have direct communication with the unconscious. This series is called Care of the Self, and we're going to be addressing many different topics and themes and problems, really, in this series, and hopefully delivering some useful information and some useful tools to you. The first topic that we're going to address is addiction. And, well, it'll be letting you know how to overcome addiction. But we'll also be addressing eating disorders, we'll be addressing trauma, we'll be addressing emotional containment and emotional release. We'll be addressing chronic problem states, whether they're emotional or physical. And we'll be addressing many, many different things in this series, but to start with, we'll be addressing addiction or dependence on some particular substance. Now, addiction goes well beyond substances. Substances like heroin and cocaine and alcohol are things that we often think about when the term addiction is used, but there are folks addicted to gambling, folks addicted to pornography, folks addicted to shopping. There are many, many different targets of addiction. In this series, we're going to first start out addressing addiction to substances. Now, why do people become addicted? There are many, many reasons, and most often in a very broad, general way, we can think that folks want to or need to escape their day-to-day experience. They may need to escape memories that are flooding their mind all the time. They need to perhaps escape current experience. Perhaps things are not going well at all. Perhaps the context that they're living in is very difficult. There's all kinds of possibilities. People may need to escape the results of trauma or abuse or neglect. People may need to escape obsessive thoughts that just keep running through their mind. There's lots of different reasons people need escape. People need to find a little better experience, or at least escape a bad experience. And so various substances can, well, produce that escape, at least temporarily and at least on certain levels. And then those escapes become habitual, and one becomes dependent upon that escape, and it becomes a routine. So there's a process I developed I call utilization sobriety, and it allows one to access the very best elements of whatever substance is being used. Yeah, that's true. Accessing the best of the substance without using the substance. Well, that probably doesn't seem realistic at all to most of you, but it is very, very possible because the body records everything that goes into it, whether it's gas or liquid or solid. Things get recorded. The medication that you take gets recorded. What you drink gets recorded. What you eat gets recorded. The air you breathe in gets recorded. There's kind of a biological library within us all that captures all that information. And the good news is that your unconscious mind has a library card. So there are ways to access that information, like information about whatever substance it is that you like, whatever substance it is that allows you to escape. That information is there. We can access it by communicating with the unconscious. So in this series, you will be learning how to communicate directly with your unconscious mind. And this will be a very nice tool. It is a nice tool for anyone that has the tool, because consider that your unconscious mind has access to the deepest levels of functioning and communication in your system, from the molecular on up to the psychological. That's a lot of territory to cover. And once you open up a channel of communication with the unconscious, you have access to all of that information, and you can ask questions. The unconscious is there to help you. Its purpose is to help you. It's a bit like having a best friend inside that's always available. And so establishing communication with that friend can be very, very helpful. So that's what this series is all about. We'll be targeting lots of different points of focus that are problematic for many people. And we'll be looking at ways to, resolve problems, ways to get help from the unconscious, ways to access resources that are within you that can be very helpful. So this is going to be care of the self, this entire series. In the next segment, we'll be defining this utilization sobriety process and how you can really launch into the process and get what you need. Okay, so I hope to see you in the next segment. Thank you for listening.